Hey everybody, I want to take a second to talk to you about the Mana Traders series. Mana Traders is now sponsoring the channel, RW Hobbies, or RW Makes Magic, helping me get all the decks I need to make the videos that everybody wants to watch, so really appreciate that. But another big thing that's awesome about this is I get to play in the Mana Traders series, which is an awesome series. Best prizes online at the moment. 15,000 monthly payout. That's to all their players. Free entry. It's open to all, even non-Mana Traders users, but the Mana Traders users, like people subscribe, get 10x prize multiplier, so you get a lot more prizes if you're subscribed. And honestly, it's really hard to play Magic Online nowadays without Mana Traders. I was one of the lucky few who could keep doing it because I had a large collection from before they started, but there's not very many people like me left that just have an old collection on Magic Online, and honestly, even with that old collection, it was still really hard for me to change decks and keep trying out new things. And now that I have, Mana Traders back, I feel like I'm gonna be able to do a lot more videos, do a lot more with the thing. And honestly, I don't think you can get into Magic Online without using it nowadays. I think it's just a must-use. And if you want to get subscribed to Mana Traders, you can help out the channel by using code A22EN when you subscribe. You get 15% off, be eligible to play in all these series. Even get to battle against me on there. So, should be a lot of fun. And remember, I'm going to let you get to the content now, but remember, if you would subscribe, it would really help the channel. So, thanks everybody for that. And with that, we'll talk to you next time. All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Making Magic Happen, brought to you by RW Hobbies and Games in Livonia, Michigan. I'm Zach, and today we're playing a modern prelim. It's been a couple weeks since I really dug into modern. Obviously, you've seen a couple Goblins videos here and there, but overall, I haven't been taking the format, too seriously at the moment. I've been mostly playing standard, but I think it's time to get back into it. I really want to see what Zendikar Rising did to modern. I want to get in to start playing the format again. So I took a list. This is mostly based off a list from TSP Gendrick, noted control player. Very good Magic Online grinder. He loves playing Euro decks. He loves playing Sultai. Big fan of Archmage's Charm. And I wanted to see, if I added a couple Blood Chief's Thirst, how good this deck can be. It looks really sweet. I'm kind of unsure on the meta. I know I didn't like Goblins that much, so I wanted to try the other decks I was doing good with before Zendikar came out, which was Sultai. I was winning a lot with Sultai. I imagine there's a lot of Omnath decks now. A little scared of those, but this deck looks like it has the tools to take those down, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know. This deck looks pretty good to me. Still Mystic Sanctuary, still Uro, still Cryptic Command. Those all are great. Force Negation is another great card. I got some Gargaroths in the sideboard. I've got Disruption and Thoughtseize. There's some Oops All Spells deck going around Modern. I have seen that where they just play 0 lands in either Goblin Charbelcher or Balustrade Spy or any of these things to just essentially really break the fact that they have no real lands in their deck. Playing Thoughtseize and Force Negation against those types of decks sounds excellent to me. I don't know how they're going to deal with this much disruption. And then all of the... there is a ton of Prowess decks. There's a ton of, Death Shadow, Skyclave, Shade decks, too, from this set. So, getting to have Abrupt Decays and Blood Chief's Thirst and Fatal Pushes and then still have Uro and Archmage's Charm against all those decks sounds really strong to me. So, we'll see how this plays out, but the deck looks really strong. I'm really excited to play with it. Can't wait to get into it. Alright, here for round one. Playing against Bones, maybe? Oh, yeah, this hand looks pretty good. We've got an Uro, we've got some counter magic, we've got a kill spell. I think it's a pretty clear keep. Would like to draw another land, but we got 27 of them. We should be good. Alright, Misty suggests probably some Uro stuff happening here. I'm going to lead on the Watery Grave tapped. Don't think I need to go... I think I can save the Mystic Sanctuary because I already have 2 islands. It's actually very nice in these matchups to just go turn 3, Archmage's Charm, draw 2, Turn 4, play the Sanctuary, put the Archmage's Charm back on top. Browgran Triumph. So, almost certainly Omnath. Could also be Jeskai, I guess. Like, there is kind of a Jeskai. No, this is definitely Omnath. A Renin 6, huh? That one I don't like. The question is, what's the card I'm pitching? Man, Bloodchief's Thirst being able to kill that is nice. I don't have one. If this was a Bloodchief's Thirst, obviously I'd let it resolve and let them get the land. I think I can pitch this. I actually can probably pitch the Uro. Uro's probably the worst card in this hand, honestly. I'll pitch Uro. I got 3 more. There's more where that came from. Ooh, and Island's a very good draw. So the question is, it's got to be Misty. I might want to Fatal Push something. I don't know. Probably not, but, you know, I may want to. They're going to play their own Uro. That's fine. Oh, they don't have another land either? Oh, forcing that Renin 6 was pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Alright, not fetching there because I have a Fatal Push and I might want to kill an Omnath. I'm not super worried about it, but that's where we're at. I still will also fetch and cast this if they don't do anything crazy. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Just cycling through Uros. I'll counter the back half, get rid of them at some point. Ooh, still nothing going here. Alright. Alright. Let's fetch a Breeding Pool. I will shock. Could have got a Zagoth before, but I'm 1 green source away from having perfect mana. I did want to get 3 islands for this Mystic Sanctuary. I would like to draw 2 cards, please. Oh, Fact or Fiction's a very good one. I will take that. Interesting. So I can Thoughtseize them. That does let them, well, maybe bring back Uro. They already have a Mountain, which doesn't really bring this card back. Interesting turn here. I can pass with Fact or Fiction up, or just Uro draw Force Negation. I can like Thoughtseize plus Uro draw Force Negation. Then I'm missing my land drop. I think I'm just gonna pass with Foff up. I do like putting Archmage's Charm back. I think it's slightly better than Force Negation. Especially when an opponent's mana screwed. I would much prefer to cast a Foff this turn. Oh, I guess I would cast a Cryptic. I do want to try to hit my next land drop. Obviously, opponent's missing a land drop, so it's not the end of the world if I don't hit one, but I still would like to hit one. Okay, want to hit that land. Oh, a Tef, huh? Alright, that one is going to be annoying. Do they have like Veil of Summer Main? No, okay. Just, they don't have anything. Oh man, Jace is excellent. Alright, let's start with a Thoughtseize before we make any decisions on what to do for the rest of the turn. Opponent does have some stuff happening, but none of it's particularly good. If I take Jace, they're kind of left with just actual nothing. At least nothing I really care about. I think I'm supposed to take... I'm definitely supposed to take Jace here. Yeah, let's get Jace out of there. And then... I'm still going to pass. I want to be able to use the Archmage's Charm. But I would like to just draw with it. It's kind of where I'm at. Ooh, Field of the Dead. So I know opponent has Growth Spiral, Force Negation, Mana Leak, Path to Exile. I imagine they will use the Force here. That's kind of my guess. But if they do use the Force... Oh, no, they use the Mana Leak. Okay, so they're leaving a Force on my turn. Nope. Which does make sense. I can kind of, like, really get them here by just playing a Jace, making them use the Force, and then they're left with a Path to Exile and nothing else. They still can't bring back Uro. All of that said, though... I still think I just want to Foff. I still think that's going to be better. I want to get one... I want to make sure one of these things happens, and... Yeah, that's fine. Now we know Path and Force. I'm not super interested in Uro at the moment. Like, it's fine. I'll put it in play, but it's not something I think is crazy necessary here. Okay, so we're actually just going to know opponent's hand here. Opponent's going to draw. I don't even really... Oh, no, they just didn't put Growth Spiral on the top. Okay, that makes more sense. I was going to say, putting Growth Spiral on top there is odd. Seems like we're flashing back Uro, which I would Force of Negation, I believe, or Cryptic Command, I believe. Ooh. Alright, so if they drew a blue card... ooh. Interesting. If they drew a blue card, I leave them with exactly Path. If I play Jace here. And I still have a Force Negation on their turn. Which is pretty good. I can also just Uro and they just like don't have anything they can really do about it. And it does get me closer to playing, or to like having field active. I think it's time to go for the Jace. Not super... Will not love it if this gets forced, but... Oh, wow, that just resolved? Okay. Well, then. Hello. Bolt Jace. Ah, they drew Bolt. Well, at least I got a Brainstorm out of it. Oh, man. I definitely should have left that up. I don't know what that is. Okay. Well, these don't actually help me get much closer. I'll play this. I really wish I could have hit that Uro. I did not, though. My opponent still doesn't seem to have very much happening. It's fine. So now the next land we draw goes kind of crazy, honestly. And I get to fire off a Foff here, which I do assume they will Force of Negation, but at least it gets out of their hand, and I'm just fine with that. Oh, they actually had Mana Leak, okay. So their hand is still Path, Force of Negation, something. Interesting. So I can play Jace and still enforce their force. I still think I'm better off playing Uro, though. Just get this guy rolling. They're going to have to Path it, and that's going to get my Field of the Dead turned on, which is going to be absolutely excellent. So I already have a Force in my hand. The Misty, the Cryptic, the Jace can definitely go. The question is, what's the other card I want to get out of here? I guess Thoughtseize. I do like Thoughtseize here, but... I think I can get rid of that. Drawing a land here would also be insane. Land? No. But I will still take a Thoughtseize. I just have 2 paths. Okay. That's fine by me. Imagine my Uros getting pathed. So they're probably going to path Uro. I could cling one of their Uros, but it doesn't really get me very far. I've got enough of all the colors. I do think I should get another green, though, just because of Uro. And now we got Zombos. Many Zombos. Bring back Uro, I presume. That is going to happen. The good news is after this, their Uros are very far away from happening. I am just going to cling this Mana Leak. Just get it out of there. Oh, they can fetch a Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, alright. Maybe they don't have that many. I was going to say, that might have been a really bad play. But nope, we're fine. We are fine. Do I want to draw anything? Archmage's Charm still seems good. I don't even hate a Thoughtseize, but... No, I'm kind of off Thoughtseize. I think I'm just going to get another Archmage's Charm. I already got Jace. Yeah, I'm just going to get an Archmage's Charm. Kind of the most versatile thing to put on top there. Cast the Yace. Go Yace. I will push said Uro. Oh, opponent conceded. Come back, opponent. Don't leave. Alright, opponent left. They got all mad, I guess. Decided to leave in a huff. Alright, so I do like Thoughtseizes. Bloodchief's Thirst kills Ren. Kicking it to kill the rest is kind of expensive, but that's fine. They had counter spells, so I like my Veils. I actually don't hate Loams, although I don't think they're necessarily great. John Lock is pretty bad against Uro. I'm going to cut one of my Uros. The rest of the deck feels quite good. I think I should go down on pushes. I think I should have like 2. That seems probably close. Aether Gust is probably just really good, right? Ren, Uro, Omnath. Yeah, probably really good. So I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to cut all the 1-mana stuff. Just use my 2-mana removal and Thoughtseize to kind of control the top of their stuff. I could bring in Surgical for their Uros. I don't think that's crazy either, but I also don't think it's like necessarily 100% necessary. I think I can just fight through them and use this one Cling to Dust. Although I don't hate it. I also like wonder. It feels like Loam should probably be in. This card seems really good in this matchup to just never miss a land. And it also just like fuels Uros and helps you find Uros. I guess I'll bring in 1 Loam. Let me cut off Force. Force is good, but too many of them early can really put you in a bind in some of these matchups. All right, this hand seems decent. I wouldn't say it's great, but it is definitely decent. All right. That one's probably going to get a Triome. Mana's a little wonky here, so just having a Triome to get all 3 colors on turn 1 is going to be great. Really not looking to see Ren in 6 here. Perfect. 2-mana Planeswalker on the play is... Guess I should have left those Bloodjuice Thirsts in, huh? Yeah, now my Field of Ruins don't really do anything. This is quite annoying. I'm just going to play the Misty. So opponent's not doing anything either necessarily. I do imagine they're going to Field of Ruin me here at some point. Maybe try to run me out of basics. I have a lot of them though. I think 7 basics in the list. So not like not really a valid plan unless I was, fetching basics prior to this. I will put this in play. Alright, so I will say it doesn't feel like things are going great so far, but the Wren's only drawn 1 card. So this can get a Mystic Sanctuary, which I don't know how important that is, but it can. I guess I get this island. I have a lot of ways to deal with this. I've got Aether Gust, I've got Trophy, I've got Decay. I can Cryptic Bounce it if I need to, although that's not generally where I want to be. But I could do it. Is this an Omnath? Feels like it could be an Omnath. Maybe they're just fetching to get the Wren on. Wouldn't be shocked to see in a row either. It is an Omnath. That is going to get leaked. So I know they have 2 lands in hand. Oh, there's a Trophy. That's actually pretty good. I'm going to play the Field of Ruin. I would like to Trophy Wren here. I hate ramping them, but I do kind of want to do it. Trophy. I'm putting myself in a mana disadvantage, but at least Wren's not ulting, which would be unbeatable. And I think I have a better instant speed game. I think it's close, but I think I am better. I think I'm just going to have more cards at instant speed. Fielding my field? Sure. It's fine. Get the normal forest here. I'm actually curious, how many basics can an opponent really even have? Okay, that's a Zombo. That's probably pretty bad for me. Did not want to go into combat. What I wanted to do was go to my main phase, play another Field of Ruin, and hit their Field of the Dead. A snow-covered island. I guess I only have 6 basics. I thought I had a snow-covered swamp. It looks like I do not. Alright, they picked that turn to just jam, which is pretty unfortunate for me. If we're being honest, because they just jammed in a 3 mana, 3 blue. It probably means they have something like their own Mana Leak or a Veil of Summer here. Me drawing only 4 drops and lands. I mean, that's literally all we've drawn the entire game. We've drawn like a land or a cryptic, like a land every single draw step. I mean, I don't know how I win this game. It probably starts with Jacing. I imagine my Jace is going to get... No, it didn't get countered. Okay. Wow. So we actually have a shot here. It's not a good one, but it is a shot. Ooh, kind of wish I had another black land I could get. It's not basic. I'm just going to get the Swamp, though. Keep my Field of the Dead Dreams living. Oh, they just had the Veil. Okay, so that's why they jammed their Jace. They had a Veil. Thoughtseize against Veil of Summer feels bad, man. And when you play Standard, you forget how stupid Veil of Summer was. Just 1 mana Cryptic Command. Ugh, what a card. What a card that one was. Big Teferi. Alright, I am very done with this. Not winning this game. I now very much regret cutting my Force Negations. Those should come back in. I just want every counter spell I have. I actually think Drown might be okay. It's probably not like crucial though. Yeah, I mean this feels good. I think the opponent just had to turn 2 Ren and it just put me on the back foot the whole game. Could never recover. I still think my hand was a keep. Opponent's hand just happened to be quite good against it. Oh, this hand is really close. I think if this was a blue-black land, I would keep. This hand's really close. 27 land deck. I'm on the play, but I do have a cantrip. Given that I can't use the Thoughtseize, though, I think this is a mulligan. That hand was really close. Alright, I think this hand's better. I don't think it's good. I do think it's better, though. I was supposed to Thoughtseize before they could get a Veil of Summer, huh? Alright, punish me. Making a terrible play.
I think it's really important here to stress the modularity of the system. You know, the preservation of investment that usually have with that.
Oh, they didn't have Veil. Alright, taking Growth Spiral out of this hand seems a little weird, but also their hand doesn't do anything until like turn 10 if I do, so probably right. In before they immediately draw a Renin 6. Alright. Mystic Sanctuary is not a terrible draw. This is the kind of hand where they're like a little bit forced to just jam, which I do like. That is good for me. Oh, I was supposed to play the Watery Grave. That was poor. Whatever. I'm just going to play the Forest here. Pass. I do wonder if opponent will jam the Omnath. I think they probably won't, but it would be really good for me if they did. I at least am going to have access to Field of the Dead, so I can kind of pressure them into doing this. Just jam an Omnath. Plez. Plez, do it. Oh, just straight into the Cryptic Command. I love it. I think I screwed this turn up. I have sequenced quite poorly. I couldn't even have Mystic Sanctuary anyway because of the Creeping Tar Pit. Yeah, this whole sequence was not good. Now I get a Yace. Oh, into Force Negation. That's so good. If they drew their own Force Negation, this goes pretty bad for me, but I'm still going to jam my Jace. They have to have Force Negation. Okay. So looking for Thoughtseize or blue card here. We hit that back, and I'm going to put the Misty on top. I like the rest of these. I'm just going to play the Watery Grave. I need to get Mystic Sanctuary turned on, so playing Watery Grave makes sense. Yeah, now if they jam to Fairy, I will just force in a heartbeat, pitch Aether Gust, and that's going to be the game. GG, opponent. It was fun playing. So I can brainstorm again here. I mean, I'm definitely brainstorming. The question is, am I fetching to clear the top of my library before brainstorming? I don't think I am. I think I'm just going to brainstorm and then clear after. Not playing the Field of Dead here. I'd rather set up a Mystic Sanctuary turn. I don't want to expose the Field of the Dead to Field of Ruin before I get at least one zombie off of it. It's kind of the plan. Not sure what opponent's doing here. I guess they don't like that I'm taking so much time to brainstorm. Maybe they just know they're beat. Who knows? Something doesn't sit right with the opponent here. Ooh. Oh, those are good cards. So I think I put Sanctuary back. No, I want Sanctuary. I want to go Thoughtseize and Uro this turn. This is a tough turn. Let's just do this. Now let's start with a Thoughtseize, see what we're up against here. Opponent has more things, but none of them are particularly good. I still think I'd rather leave them with Cryptic than Jace. Although Jace I can just Force Negation. The only problem with that, or I don't have a Force Negation in my hand. Yeah, I gotta take Jace. And now we got the Zambies rolling. And I get to draw another Cryptic Command, I think. I would like to use Mystic Sanctuary's ability, and I would like to always yield to Field of the Dead. That wasn't even one of the cards in their hands, right? Okay. Just free info there. Oh my. These are quite good. I'm going to put Field of Ruin back and Mana Leak back. Don't really want those. Just going to play the field. I could bring back Uro here. But again, I'm not super interested in it. I think I just want to get another Mystic Sanctuary and put Force of Negation on top. Just keep kind of burying the opponent here. And you see a good illustration of why I think this deck is good against this deck. I have much cheaper spells. I get under them. And I still have enough like card advantage and closing power to bury this deck here. Where once I got ahead, I get to stay ahead. Like I get to be ahead and stay ahead. Which I think is important. You had one draw step. I am not respecting it. Good thing I did not respect it. I mean, you saw game 2, when an opponent has their cheap card, like a Wrenn and 6, yeah, I can get buried. Like, they have Wrenn and 6 and Teferi, and those cards are just actively great. But, my deck has answers to them. We have, like, Abrupt Decay and Bloodchief's Thirst and Aether Gust and things that can answer those cards. And when they don't have those cards, their deck is so clunky. And it's, like, not even playing good one-mana spells in this matchup. It has good one-mana spells in Path and Bolt, but those are for other decks. And here I can get under them and just kind of bury up, which feels pretty nice. Alright, back for round 2 of the prelim here. Really wish I knew what my opponent was playing. This thing would be insane if I knew his prowess. I do think it's worth a keep, though. I have I really hope I'm playing against like a prowess deck here. This would be awesome. Kill spell, counter your thing, play a Jace. That is just a time-honored strategy in Magic right there. I feel like they might be on a deck that's soft to this. I'm kind of feeling it. I don't know. We'll find out. Being able to play is nice, though. I'm going to need to draw a land. I'm also missing green, so those parts aren't great, but Mystic Sanctuary is at least active with this hand as future draws. And when an opponent reveals they're playing a creature deck, this hand's going to be amazing, so let's hope for that. Well, the creature decks in Modern do tend to have Cavern of Souls, so I think I'm going to have a dead card kind of either way. But we got a Jace. Jace is going to be good. All right. Mountain Swiftspear? Yes? Scalding Tarn could still be Swift. Oh, probably an Omnath deck. Darn it. Well. Okay, Breeding Pool's actually a fine draw. I was going to play the Island here so I can leave up Mana Leak. But Breeding Pool's a fine draw. Alright, looks like another Omnath deck. I guess it could be like the Jeskai control is playing like Cleansing Wildfire and whatever the red or the white land is. I don't remember off the top of my head. Ruins? No. Oh, this is going to haunt me. Darn it, what is that land? Opponent stopping on my draw step, okay. I know it's from Time Spiral. Ooh, Uro's decent. Still don't think I want to play Uro, though. Feels like these are going to be pretty dead, sadly. I guess Bloodchief's Thirst is never truly dead. Like, I can at least kick it to kill, like, a Jace or Teferi, which is actually kind of awesome. Oh, this does look like an Omnath deck. Interesting. Honestly, I think I'm supposed to fire off the Cryptic here just to keep the cards flowing. And kind of not do the same for the opponent, get like a clean 2-for-1. I actually think that's right. It's weird, but I think it is right. All right, second Fatal Push was not it. I'm going to fire off my Uro now. Alright, get to put that in play, and play a Polluted Delta. So this actually looks pretty good. I can leave a Fatal Push on one of their things. If they play like an Omnath and try to go fetch land, I can Fatal Push it. If they just Uro again, okay. So obviously this isn't ideal for me, but I do get to kill the Omnath before they can fight about it. I could have countered Omnath. I would rather save the counters for a Planeswalker. The Fatal Pushes are pretty dead in this matchup, so just being able to trade them with something that matters, I think, is pretty good for me. And note, I did do that with the draw trigger on a stack, so that opponent like can't play a land here and get mana and put me in an awkward spot. It's just the best way to deal with Omnath. You just accept you're getting 2-for-1, but that you get to untap and do some stuff, so that's kind of where we're at. I am going to get to land a Jace here, unless they have 2 Force Negations, which would be pretty wild, but they could. Yace. Oh, he's just in there. Hello, Yace. Alright, a Force and... Oh, a Thoughtseize is pretty good too, though. Right, definitely putting the Fatal Push back. I don't think I played a land. In fact, I know I haven't. Probably just going to put the Bloodchief's Thirst back too. Yeah, yes. So I want to Thoughtseize and leave up Leak here. Seems like the best play. The question is, what do I want to get? Drawing... If Mystic Sanctuary is active, drawing a Cryptic Command sounds pretty good. Yeah. I don't hate it. Let's do that. Give me that Cryptic Command. And then I'll hit him with the Thoughtseize. What do they got in there? Path to Exile, Lightning Bolt, 4 lands. That hand is terrible. Alright, I'll take the Lightning Bolt. Oh, my Mana Leak's going to be dead, but it does mean I get to stop them if they have like a crazy draw this turn, like they draw a Big Teferi or another Omnath or whatever, I can counter it. They might get to kill my Jace, but it's not even clear that they do with that Bolt. And if they're drawing Bolt, I'm like kind of happy about it, honestly. Their hand had like 30 lands in it, right? It did, yeah. Okay. I could like, if they already had a Field of Ruin in play, or no, I couldn't even use it. I have a blue source. So if I could cast a trophy and they had a Field of Ruin in play, I think I would Field in response just to make them shuffle. Also, for the record, that's why I'm playing Assassin's Trophy over Abrupt Decay because of opponent's Fields of Ruin. I think that card is truly ridiculous, and against Prowess decks, giving them a land stinks, but it's not the end of the world against Prowess. It does stink to actually have to hit. Oh, no! They already drew the land. Well, this does mean I get to Mana Leak the Bolt. No, wait, they have another land drop, right? Yikes, opponent. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. Big shame. Big shame. Alright. We drew a Cryptic Command. The question here is, what do I want to do? I do kind of want to kill their Field of the Dead before it goes too crazy, but it's a kind of inefficient use of my mana this turn. And I think, given all of those things, I should probably start by brainstorming with Jace. Okay, these are just all very good. I don't really care about Cling to Dust. I do want the trophy on top. I am going to just bring back Uro. And crucially, this polluted delta gets me a land. Ooh, I lost my trophy. Oh, that might have been dumb. Do I counter it? I kind of want the Uro. Uro's pretty good. No, it's fine. Let's get a snow-covered forest. Guess I'll put this in play. And then this. And yeah, now, like, the opponent did deal with my Uro, but their hand is not particularly good from what I saw. I think they still have a Tarn. No. I think maybe they played the Sanctuary. I don't know. They definitely have a Tarn and a Ketria Triumph in their hand. I know that. And they have one other card I don't know besides those. I think that's what it is. It's a Tarn and a Ketria Triumph. Or maybe they used the Tarn? I don't remember. I should have... No. Okay, now they don't have a Tarn. They have a Ketria Triumph and something else that they drew for turn. And they're probably going to bring back an Uro. If it's a counter spell, that could be kind of awkward. But then I would just pitch my force and that would be fine. Oh, they can't even bring back Uro because their mana is so awkward. Wild. Put Lightning Bolt back on top of their library. Okay. It is turn 7 and they can't bring back Uro. That has to be some sort of a condemnation on this deck, right? It's just like way too bad to be acceptable. I don't really get it, but alright. I'm just gonna go harder than them here. I'm definitely saving this to be Mystic Signature. I didn't want to crack it if I didn't have to. I probably should have shocked the Breeding Pool, honestly. Alright, let's keep brainstorming. Oh my. Those are very nice. Sure. Put those back. Get another Zombo. Oh my gosh, so many beautiful cards here. I can just lock up all the zombies on the ground with my Field of the Dead. And I have 4 counter spells in hand to opponent's essentially nothing. Opponent does have an Uro, but that's fine. I don't think that matters all that much. Bolt my Yace. I probably should have just plussed Yace, honestly, but it's fine. Doesn't matter. I do think this is probably a pretty good time for a Cryptic. Let's do that. Just straight bully them all the way through. Oh, yes. Another Archmage's Charm. So now I have Cryptic, Archmage's Charm, and Force up this turn. Opponent has no shot in this game. Apologies, opponent, but it is the case. Big Teferi? I mean, that would be interesting if it had a chance to resolve. They also cycled this. I don't know their hand. Let's get a Mystic Sanctuary. Blue, and I'll do this one. Counter target spell, draw a card. Oh, I drew another Cryptic command. It's very nice. I'm still out here not having double green for their Uro. Why even worry about dealing with Uro when your opponent can't cast it? A Blood Chief's Thirst, huh? Let's keep brainstorming with Yace. Thoughtseize doesn't really do anything. I'll put that one away. Do you think I'm supposed to get the last Mystic Sanctuary here and draw a Cryptic Command? Sounds pretty good. Just have a handful of Cryptics. And we're attacking now. Just starting to bury them. I think opponent thinks this is going to get them back in the game. Sadly, does not. I'll kill their zombies, so we just trade at best here. In fact, even less than that. Oh no, they have a fetch now. They get 2 zombies! I mean, they're just dead to me tapping their team. Unfortunately for them. Okay, you gotta let that... Yep, there you go. Counter tap. Counter target spell, tap all creatures your opponents control. Should have post-combated it. Not that it actually matters, but you should have. And they doubled my Uro and lost my field and my Jace. Hello, yes. This just in. Jace, still good. I'm still unsure if I'm supposed to have the Loams. I think maybe I am. I don't know. Looks like we're way off the Fatal Push train, though. I don't really like them. I thought I could cut one Uro. There's something else I wanted to cut. I don't know what it is, though. Like a Cryptic, maybe? Cryptic's so good, though. I was cutting a Force, but I remember that I thought that was wrong. Now, you know what? Cutting a Force is probably fine, honestly. Like, I got punished the last game, but I have thoughts. Like, I have so much disruption. It's probably fine. I could also just cut one of these. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to cut one Force and submit. We'll see how this goes. All right. Sand would be amazing if I had a black source. All that said, it's still going to be good when I draw a black source, and I do have cheap spells I can use in the meantime. Going to be really good when we draw a black source. Some point here. Opponent's going to have no hand. I will Force of Negation a Ren and 6 incredibly fast with this hand. Just saying. Don't you dare. This Cryptic... I have no shame getting rid of this Cryptic Command. This is... They're out here trying. Alright. Cryptic Command gone. So, I'm kind of out of gas here and need a black source. This hand's... Alright, that's a black source. That plays. This hand is a little awkward from that perspective. Not going to lie. I want a Watery Grave, and I would like to shock. Thoughtseize you. Oh, a Time Raveler. No. No, no, no. Don't like. Don't like. So we are kind of starting to fall behind here. Opponent's got their Field of the Dead already. I don't have any way to punish anything. I don't have a threat. I just have a lot of Thoughtseizes. It also looked like they were pretty dead on spells. So that is kind of awkward. All that said, I think we're okay. What did they draw? Ooh, they drew a bunch of good cards. Huh. Definitely want to take the Cryptic Command, and I'm going to shock so that When they try to bring back Uro this turn, I can Aether Gust it and then Thoughtseize the Growth Spiral. Alright, they're passing on the opportunity to do that. Fair enough. Okay, I don't love Trophy here, but it's also not bad. I would like to draw any of my things that draw a card. Those would be great. Those would, in fact, be quite good. Alright, Spiral in response, sure. Ugh. Hate to see that. But that also means opponent mostly doesn't have anything, although they probably will get back Cryptic Command here. This will get to trigger Field, which I kind of hate. Really hoping that they couldn't. No, they could have Mystic Sanctuary. So maybe they Mystic Sanctuary here. Yeah. So we're gonna get back Cryptic. I imagine we're still going to Uro this turn. That's my guess. It is my guess. I should have saved that Thoughtseize. That was pretty bad. Could have had an insane turn here where I just Thoughtseize the Cryptic, Gust the Uro, Trophy the Field, and then opponent's left with nothing. I didn't do that, sadly, but here we are. I need to draw something. That's not really the thing. Although, it's not terrible either. I drew a Renin 6. Ugh. So now my play gets Cryptic. This is not good for me at all. Yep. Feels bad, man. I'm just going to save time. I am dead here. Never drew a source of card advantage, which I have a decent amount of. Yeah, 4, 10, sort of 14, 15-ish card advantage cards. But never drew one, so stuff. I guess I should probably still leave Uro in. I want to look at this. I don't know. This hand is great. Take this. This hand is actually great. Little awkward against a Ren, but not the end of the world by any means. Ooh. That one's good. Still, again, a little awkward that I don't have double or triple blue yet, but I do have double blue, and we're getting close. It's also awkward that neither of these are a forest. Like, a forest would be much better here, given I have a Veil to protect my Cryptic, but it is what it is. I still think this hand is quite good. So I think I'm supposed to get a breeding pool here. It's my read. Professional read. Okay, There's the blue source we needed. Question is it worth Urowing here? It does get tagged by like a dispute. Could also let them resolve it to Fairy. But I also don't really think my hand necessarily beats those. Like, I can't stop it to Fairy regardless. And I guess, like, I mean, how many disputes can you play in Modern? 2, maybe? Like, it's just really not the end of the world. Yeah, I'm going to fetch for an island here. Let's cast my Uro. Start cycling him. And honestly, like, even if you had a mystical dispute, would you even use it here? I don't think you would. Maybe you do. It does kind of feel like they had something and were thinking about it. Okay. Trophy's not a bad draw. It's actually kind of okay. You say his opponent just doesn't have a land? What? What just happened? Wild. Alright, Thoughtseize was an excellent draw. Get the field of yard. You do need a blue or a green source and everything will have come together. Ooh, I don't like that. Oh. So they had the dispute, okay. Really blown out there. Oh, that's bad for me. All that said, opponent just missed their land drop and discarded a hand size, so not the end of the world. You do kind of have to assume opponent's hand is awesome if they kept a 2-lander and have missed their land drop, and they're just 4-color good cards. Like, their hand has to be very, very good. Do I want to hit their Ketria Triome? Just completely ruin their mana? It's kind of interesting. I don't think that's right, but it is kind of interesting. Alright, looks like opponent has something to do now. They're going to keep waiting, though. Their hand has to just be so good. But waiting game favors me. I am up on mana. I'm down a few cards, but... Oh, baby. That puts an Uro in play. Still think I'm supposed to wait. I'm just going to play this tapped. Kind of awkward that it doesn't trigger Field of the Dead, but... You know, it's whatever. This isn't like a dedicated field deck. This is more of like a... this is more of like a field to win eventually type thing. Cleansing Wildfire. I am actually totally okay with this. I have Loam in my deck, and I would love another green source. This is excellent for me. So now we're looking for a blue source. Or that. That's also pretty good. Still gonna wait. I can just put Uro in play. It's so good. Alright, I'm gonna play Uro. I think this is fine. Oh, I do have to get rid. Nah. I want to leave my Field of the Dead there. I have Loam in my graveyard or in my deck. I can draw to it. I'm also like not really under pressure. Of course, opponent is kind of like starting to draw out of their screw, but my hand's very good. Yeah, and what I really just want to use these Veil of Summers to get my clean 2-for-1s. It's kind of where we're at. Namnath. Looks like opponent's thinking the better of this. Playing a land first. Sure. I'm gonna Uro. Yeah, that's fine. I might have missed the boat there to get my Uro in play. I don't know. Looks like opponent's upkeeping something. Maybe they just have a stop. A drown in the lock. Okay. Still just want to use my mana. That's where we're at. That's what I'm looking for here. Looks like they're going to cast it to Fairy. We were thinking about it. Oh, now the Omnath. Okay. Counter. Can I draw land? No, but Jace is very good. Alright, let's put Jace in play. Oh, man. Oh, looks like they're going to try to counter. Not going to go that well for you, my dude. Is this a Dovin's veto? It'd be a real shame if a Dovin's veto got countered by Veil of Summer. Be a real shame. Oh. Brutal. Brutal! Do you have the Force Negation too? That would be the cherry on the top. You just try to... Oh. Sorry about that, opponent. I kind of feel bad now. Oh. Oh, man. That is really tough. Do I want to draw anything out of my graveyard? Not really. I actually think a random 3 cards is better than something from the yard. Okay. Feel the Dead still doesn't trigger, but it will next turn. I still don't really want to draw anything. I think I'm going to put this back and this on top and then play a Snow-Covered Island. Oh man, that turn went very well for me. I'll say that much. Oh, that's... Nope. Don't like that. Cryptic or Uro? I already have an Uro in my yard. It's got to be just this Uro. Alright, so we're just out here veiling everybody. That's... Okay. Yep. Fair enough. Many veils happening. Just truly heinous magic. What a card this is. I don't... Yep. Okay. Just... Yep. 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 Do you have the kill spell for my Jace? That would be the thing that would be the worst for me, I believe. Okay, it does not look like they do. Let's brainstorm. Oh, ho, 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 Loam? Hello, Loam. Hello, Loam. Oh, man, that is really nice. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, I'm going to start by Assassin's Trophying this thing. I don't like that one. It's gone. Now I think I'm supposed to cast a Life from the Loam. And think I'm gonna play a field and just pass. I still have Gus this turn. I'm drawing a loam. Or I'm drawing a field. So then I can set up some Uro stuff next turn and start making many, many zombies. We've got Planeswalker advantage. We've got card advantage. I maybe should have just bottomed or binned the Foff. That might have been a better play. I don't know. Sure. I've got a loam going. Is this going to play tapped? Ah, lame. Are we bringing back Uro or what? What are we doing here? Does feel like a return of Uro. If opponent wants to fight over this, then that's fine. They'll get me. I can deal with it next turn. Not the end of the world. Yep, I would like to dredge loam. Oh, my thing got shuffled. I thought I was dredging another thing. That was dumb. Oh, no big deal. No. Like to draw 3 cards, please. Okay. These can go back, I guess. I'm going to have a ton of lands, so not super concerned about it. I wanted to draw that. No, it doesn't matter. I'm agonizing over something that just like really doesn't matter. Green. I have my Uro back. I'll hit Trophy, Veil, Gust, Seize. I got 2 Cryptics in hand, so I can get rid of this one. Pathing, the trigger on the stack. Sure. De Forest. No, I don't want a replacement affect it. I do want a Field of the Dead, though. Alright. I don't know how good that actually was, but it's fine. It's fine. Still have a bunch of Mystic Sanctuaries I can use, too. So what are they putting on top? Dovin's Veto? Sure. That's fine. Looks like they really want this Uro in play. Again, fine with that. Yep. I think I'm supposed to draw a Veil of Summer here just to make sure this veto never does anything. I think that's the place to be. If opponent wanted to veto that bad, I should just get the counter to veto that's in my yard. It's kind of the assumption I'm making. Oh. Well, I mean, If you want to go about it that way, then I will force negation that. Maybe should have got back Gust, given that they tapped out, but I don't think it actually matters. I don't know why you wouldn't have just played that one first. Oh, they didn't have the veto yet. No, I don't want to. Don't want to loam. No, every single draw step. No, why? Why are you like this, Moto? I think I can get rid of the FOF at this point. I don't think I particularly need it. I am going to decay Uro and start the bashing. The zombies are getting in. Zombos. We're bringing back Uro. I'm going to counter it. This actually puts him below the 5-card threshold, which is perfect for me. And I conveniently have enough mana to use a Veil of Summer plus another counterspell. I do need to save the Veil of Summer for after the veto, though. No, Loam, stop! Oh, the good thing about Factor Fiction here is that Loam just doesn't... Loam doesn't try to replace it. That's a lot of cards. They're all pretty good ones, too. Although the Mana Leak's essentially not a card at this point. You're gonna put... These are the only 2 cards that were actual cards. All the other ones I get back with Loam. Alright, I'm gonna choose this one. I guess it's kind of a lose-lose scenario for the opponent, so fair enough. I can fetch a Watery Grave. Sure. I don't know that it matters, but here we go. Opponent is dead. They're dead on board. It's Thought Season to see if they got anything to stop this, like a Helix. I know they have a veto, but I don't think any of it matters. We're just going to have to beat way too many things. Cryptic. That's not going to work. You know I have the Veil. Force of Negation. Veil your veto. And that's the game. It's their last card. Does it do anything? Does it land? Doesn't seem to be anything. I think opponent just conceded, actually. Alright, we got there. 2-0. Doing good things. Oh, man. Sodek's playing? So Dredge is still a thing in Modern, and I have no Dredge hate. That's going to be... that's going to be bad. I guess I can maybe win with just, like, Cryptic Tap? Question mark? I don't know. That one's going to be tough. Alright, so we're hoping to dodge Sodek. Alright, that's not Sodek. That's good. That's very good. Opponent says hi GL. Hi GL to you as well, my friend. I'm going to keep. This hand is pretty good. I've got to turn 1 black if I need it. Playing against more breeding pools, though. Of course we are. Of course we are. I'm going to put the Zagat Trian in play against the breeding pool deck. I think this entire event is just breeding pools. Just mono breeding pools, the event. Pooled up, baby. I could get this in play. I think I'm supposed to bluff something. I have a force though, so like I don't even really need a bluff. I'm just gonna play the field. I think I would pitch Cryptic, although I hate it. I hate pitching it. Okay, they didn't make me do that. That's good. That's good for me. Oh, we drew a Mana Leak. Mana Leak is excellent. Would like opponent to fetch so that I can cycle this Cling to Dust. That would be great. I would accept that. Looks like maybe they're casting like an Archmage's Charm. Is this just a mirror? God. It feels like an Archmage's Charm. I think I'm supposed to... I don't really want to counter that. I'm just going to let it happen. I hate it. If they go to Mystic Sanctuary it, though, I will Cling to Dust that thing. Get it out of here. I'm not letting them chain them. No chained Archmage's Charms against me, my friend. I won't have it. Maybe they missed their land drop, though. That'd be insane. No, they didn't miss their land drop. All right, very good. All right. All right, we drew our own Archmage's Charm, and we can't cast it because we have terrible mana. Perfect. You'll love to see it. I'm thinking this is a Mystic Sanctuary, put Archmage's Charm on top scenario. And I'm thinking I'm going to Cling to Dust it. No. No. Oh, beautiful. Still didn't draw the land, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's okay. We're okay. All is okay. It's okay. No one's panicking. But, oh, that would actually be kind of good if they fielded me. I'm not going to lie. I would accept that. Would love to draw land. Beautiful. And it's a blue land. Even better. And now I get to start running the Archmage Charm draw 2 things thing. Do I want a Cryptic Bounce? Seems bad. I'm just going to tap. Yeah, Cryptic Bounce seems bad. I think you can just... I think I can treat Fatal Push as mostly not a card in this matchup. I think I can do that. I actually would like it if they Cryptic here. And I get to use my Mana Leak? No? Okay, fair enough. Ooh, Foff is excellent. I will pitch this Fatal Push. It's getting kind of dead. Well, not getting dead, but it's not great. Say that much. I've got the first good Delve spell. I mean, Cling's okay, but... Opponent must have very many lands in hand. I think I'm supposed to Foff. Oh my. That's a pretty good split, not gonna lie. I think, so from my perspective, these two should be in different piles, and these two should be in different piles. No, I'm gonna take whatever one they put the land in, I think. Easy choice. Foff is that's a powerful magic card. Oh my gosh. I get to put Uro in the yard and choose this pile. That's so good. Not going to fetch here. Oh, baby. All right. Let's get a breeding pool. Cling to Dust my Uro. No! I don't like it. I should probably use the Force Negation, though, honestly. Tap like this, I guess. No, like this. Just like being able to use my spells here, I think is good. I kind of want to just get my hand lower, honestly. I'm still not going to Mystic Sanctuary. Maybe I do Mystic Sanctuary. Yeah, I think I do. Like a Force of Negation on top, please. Now I gotta decide if it's worth it to do anything or if I want to just pitch another Fatal Push. I think I'm supposed to just pitch a Fatal Push. Or the Blood Juice. Blood Juice Thirst also seems reasonable to pitch. I do think I'm now winning this game by quite a bit. Blood Juice Thirst has to be the worst thing, right? Just has to be. I still can't Mana Leak, so I'm going to let that happen. So if opponent starts casting stuff main phase, that's like actively very good for me. They're putting Archmage's Charm on top, sure. Do I want to fire off a trophy? I think I really don't. Let's play this first. I'm going to bring back Uro. Definitely this, and that. Kind of assume some opponent has something here. Leak. I think I'm okay just paying for that. Then they'll get off a Cryptic. You know, I'm just gonna not. I think it's fine to pay for that. And if they like Cryptic counter draw, that's fine by me because they just like they get a 2-for-1 on the Cryptic, but they 2-for-1 themselves with the Mana Leak, and I still have counter spells next turn. So if they try to go for something next turn, I'm still gonna get them. Sure. Like this hasn't changed. I still have multiple Force Negations to just kind of blow them out with. And I can like jam a Jace next turn even. Should be pretty good. They're jamming Jace. No. Nope. I imagine they Archmage's Charm. I will force that as well, and probably pitch Cryptic. Nah, Cryptic's gotta be better than Jace, and I think I want to draw another Cryptic too. I have more Jaces. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And now I get to have an Uro in play. Question is, do I want to draw any of my stuff, like a Force, an Archmage? Archmage's Charm actually seems like a good draw, I think. I think that's better than drawing a Cryptic, honestly. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I want to pitch my Cling to Dust. I don't really care about the card. I'd rather have a Foff. No, I can get rid of Foff, actually. Alright, fine. I have more card advantage. I'll find it. Dece. So I have the first Uro. Opponent can't necessarily kill mine. They might be able to. Okay, now they have an Uro. But they also can't necessarily bring it back this turn. Oh, now they definitely can bring it back. That Flooded Grove looking pretty strong. Still think I'm supposed to wait, though. Still think I'm supposed to wait. Yeah, that's fine. So, looking for a fetch land here. If not, I will trophy the Uro. That's fine by me. Doesn't really matter. Push. Ooh, so they're going to Cryptic me now. Huh. Yeah, I really don't want to get Cryptic. I'm just going to let it happen. And then I will push their Uro. They're up on mana, but they still haven't found a Field of the Dead, which is pretty good for me. Alright, let's start by drawing 2 cards. Ooh, Thoughtseize there's excellent. Yes. Thoughtseize you. I assume they Cryptic this, and then I will Cryptic their Cryptic. And then they're left with mostly nothing. I mean, presumably spell, but they can't force. I have to tap in a way that actually casts the spell, huh? Alright, we'll do it like this. So we are now ahead on resources. They're going to get to bring back Uro first, but that's fine. I don't really think shocking matters. Being able to cling there would have been really good, get rid of this Uro, but I didn't. It's fine. It's fine. I was supposed to shock there. I definitely was. I think that was actually just a clear mistake not to do that. It's okay, though. It's not like I don't have an answer to it. I do. Looks like they didn't draw land, though. Oh, they just have another Uro. Alright, fair enough. Maybe they'll choose the wrong one. This can be confusing. Does not appear as if they did. Alright. I should have shocked. That was a horrible mistake. Down on mana, not getting to use my mana there was just not acceptable, I don't think. So they have 2 cards. Let's start with the obvious play. We'll bring back an Uro. Do I want Force of Negation or Cling to Dust? I think Force of Negation is still going to be better. No. Now I'm going to pass. And on their upkeep, I'm going to Assassin's Trophy their Uro. I think it's pretty unlikely they have multiple counter spells in hand if they let my Uro come into play. If I had like 20 cards in graveyard, I would think they maybe have a counter spell. And then you look for a kill spell or something, but given that they didn't do anything, and like countering Uro is actually a pretty decent stop to it, I think they probably don't have very much. Maybe a Cryptic. Bounce their Mystic Sanctuary. Alright, I will Cryptic here as well, and kind of hope I don't get super punished. Okay. This opponent has 1 card in hand, drawing for turn. I've got the Uro in play. They're still 2 cards away from bringing back their Uro. I've got 4 cards in hand. Okay, that's a good start for them. I'll say that much. That is a good start for them. If they hit a fetch land, it's like an excellent start for them. But they are out of basics. I can actually just Stone Rain them, which is kind of sweet. I do like that. Alright, they get to bring back their Uro if they want to. Good news is we do have a kill spell for it. Jace, sure. Jace is fine. I imagine they're going to bounce my Uro. Seems like the play. That's just like not the end of the world for me. If you bounce Uro, then like they're not getting the card advantage, and they're like behind on cards enough that they kind of need it. Okay, so maybe they have a kill spell for Uro. That would be better for them if they could do it like that. They're plussing? Wild. Very wild. Actually kind of stunned about that. So they must have like a decay in their hand, right? And they're just going to up... No. Okay. Very interesting. It is decay. Okay. Thought they had to have something. That was wild. Alright. So let's play our own Jace. And I guess I'm Blood Chief's thirsting. I should just trophy it. Yeah, trophy's gotta be better. And then I can play Jace. And plus on them. Force negation. Yes, I don't want them to have that one. That one is too good here. So I'm going to start by bringing back Uro. I will Cryptic it. And hope that they didn't draw another counterspell. That's kind of where we're at. It's not super likely they drew another counterspell. If they did, though, this is pretty brutal. Not that I can't deal with this, but just... I think the game's over if this Cryptic resolves. Okay, they drew a Cycling Land. Fair enough. And that did not hit the counterspell. Perfect. I would like to draw another counterspell. That sounds excellent. Give me the Cryptic command. Okay. I'm going to put this back and... Honestly, Mana Leak. Mana Leak's pretty bad at this point. Archmage's Charm. No, I want to use the Drown before it goes bad, too. Opponent says GG. Fair enough. Looks like we got him. That's good. Very good. So I assume this opponent's going to have clicks. I think Veils are going to be good. I don't actually like the Gus. I kind of think I'm supposed to bring in Surgicals. These all seem poor. I really wish I had Mystical Disputes for this matchup. How good is surgical? Getting a surgical off on like an Uro, I think is pretty darn good. I do want loams. Loams seem good. It's like a good way to keep hitting your lands. Make them destroying my lands not very good. That's fine. I think I can cut Anaro. I think Cling to Dust is not good. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think that's fine. I do kind of wonder if I should have surgicals. I'll evaluate surgicals after. Surgicaling Uro in this matchup seems very strong to me. But I also don't want to draw a bunch of surgicals. That sounds terrible. Okay. I think this is a keep. You got to be careful. It's pretty common to have about 2 Veils now, so you would like to find a spot to use your Thoughtseize where they can't get off a good Veil on you. Okay, opponent brought in Gusts. The Sanctuary. The Gust doesn't do anything against my hand. I kind of want to just take this Uro, honestly. It's not good. Cryptic's better to take, though. I think that's close, but I think Cryptic is better to take. Narset? Oh no. That is an insane sideboard card. I should have thought about that for my deck. That was a really good draw on the 2 blank draw steps they had. I mean, I have an answer to it, so it's like not the end of the world. In fact, I have 2. But yeah, you don't love to see it. You don't. So opponent's hand is Uro, Cling to Dust, and Aether Gust. Do I hit Narset now? Don't like giving them the land. I think it's still probably right. I don't want to give them another card either. I think it's right. I hate it, but I think it's right. Because also they have Gust, so if I wait on this, it gets worse. Just kind of is what it is. We have rid ourselves of the Narset problem, though, which is nice. I'm going to fetch a Breeding Pool here. Just, oh man, I had to Aether Gust them and they don't even have a land drop. That's, don't like that. Although, notably, they did have Uro in their hand and didn't cast it. So, it seems like they drew a Cryptic command to me. That would be my guess. I think I'm just going to play the Forest. Let's see what they do here. Just looking to see who can Cryptic the other person first. That's kind of where we're at. Cling my Seas? Sure. We Uroing yet? What's happening? Well, I found a River of Tears. Interesting. Ooh, the intrigue. Still don't want a Mystic Sanctuary. Field of Ruin seems like a good play here. Not great, but fine. I mean, I have a Field of the Dead. They don't necessarily. They might have drawn one that I don't know about. But I have a Field of the Dead. In a way to answer their Field of the Dead, too, for the record. Ooh, I drew my own Uro. That's very interesting. I'm still just going to wait, though. If I could play Uro and leave up Cryptic, I would be happy with this, but I can't, so I'm just going to wait. Just going to keep waiting. And if opponent misses a land here, they are going to lose the Field of the Dead very badly. Zombo. That is a problem for the opponent. If you just start falling behind Field of the Dead, things go rather poor. Well, I do need to Cryptic this because I don't get to keep my Cryptic otherwise. it's probably going to get countered, but then the rest of my hand actually kind of stinks, so whatever. Oh, they let that happen. All right. I'm going to say this went pretty good for me. I think I'm supposed to get a Sanctuary here and draw Cryptic. I want to draw Cryptic for a turn. That sounds great. And opponent's about to get zombied into oblivion. And even if they find a field, like, you just can't spend resources on this. Did they concede? Alright, they just had enough. They got outfielded. Fair enough. Alright. That went pretty well.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Alright, we had some connectivity issues there, but now everything seems to be good. Although this hand is not very good. I can't cast any of the spells in it. I think this is a mulligan. Opponent is playing Luris. This hand also seems pretty bad. Honestly, I am going to keep, but I don't think this hand... I'm not hopeful about this hand, we'll put it that way. Maybe it was supposed to bottom Swamp. Opponent's on 5, though. So maybe we have a shot. Opponent's 3-0 with this deck, though. They have to be doing pretty good. I'm going to lead on Delta. Probably going to get a Triome here. Blood Crypt, so almost certainly like a red-black prowess deck. Okay. Definitely that. Alright, Uro's a pretty good draw. I think Island's slightly better than Misty. I can still drown if they play a spell this turn and kill their thing. And they are incentivized to play spells. This is the type of deck that definitely would do that. Or even if they just fetch, I can kill the Beaumont. They might not do that. If they don't fetch here, that's really awkward for me. I don't mind them getting, like, one. Getting a little bit here, but... Yo, fetch and play something. Thank God. Alright. I'm going to kill this thing. Let's get that gone before they draw cards with it. That's where we're at. That is where we're at. Playing a Seal of Fire? Okay. I don't think that's particularly good. And I am just going to Uro here. Get a Breeding Pool. It could have been a Mystic Sanctuary, but not really the end of the world. At some point, they're going to have to like put a Luris in their hand. Or pop this Beaumont. One of those things is going to happen. They can't Luris this turn, so... I might be popping the Beaumont soon. I don't really... Like, this is not a deck that's going to keep up on card advantage. And the more time they give me, the worse it's going to get for them by me just bringing back Uros. Honestly, so... Yo, play the Skyclave Shade. It would be dope. I would actually probably get a Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, I guess I can't Mystic this turn. Almost certainly Breeding Pooling. Skyclave should actually be huge here. Jeez. They can shoot me for 4 too, so it's a 6/6. Okay, Shadow is fine. That's not terrifying. I want Breeding Pool. Okay. Force Negation's decent. Question is what I want to do here. I think I'm supposed to just island, cast a Foff, and probably take like a... Take something to kill one of these. And then I have Uro plus Misty. Alright, that's fine. Let's cast the Foff in response. Oh my, very many good things here. The thing I want is the Fatal Push, honestly. Giving me all 4, but not the push. Interesting. Still going to choose pile 1, I think. I think the only thing I need to worry about is Uro. And just not losing to this Shadow. Although, taking this pile means I have Field of the Dead active next turn. That's, like, way better, right? That has to be way better. Like, how are they beating that? They need, like, exactly Battle Rage? Yeah, that's fine. Interesting split. They actually split it in the way like I think they needed to, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. I just don't see this deck beating Uro, and like even more than that, Alright, they're popping. I can kill this next turn, so I'm not like particularly worried. Seal themselves? Wild. Makes a lot more sense if they have a TBR, but they can't even cast it. Alright. They're just out here trying to damage me. I don't really agree with this, but here we are. Okay, so sadly if I want to draw the push, I do need to do it first, but that's fine. No, I do not want to concede. I wanted to undo and not tap the black source. Give me Uro. Get Field of the Dead in play. Start making the zombos. Push the Shadow. And yeah, they have Luris, but like, I don't know. Are they going to push my Uro? Alright, whatever. Not a big deal. We got to Field of the Dead active. And if they don't have, like, specifically a TBR, I don't know how they win. And even if they have a TBR, they put Luris in their hand, oh my, that can't be good enough. Even if they have a TBR, like, I can counter it with Force Negation. I just don't know how they beat the zombies. There's just no way. Yeah. Alright, we agree. So, it was a deck with a lot of mountains, and they had Seal of Fires. I'm sure they have some of the other things too, but honestly, like, I just don't think that matters. I think I just want these and a few less forces. Forces still, like, okay. Veil actually seems decent. actually think there's a chance I do want Thoughtseizes. I don't really want Surgicals. That's bad. Damnation seems decent. I think I could bring in a Damnation. I think I am... Jace seems bad. I'm going to cut Jace. I think I'm supposed to cut the Forces for just more Veils. Veil strikes me as good. They're going to have blacks, like black creatures, black removal, Thoughtseize. It's got to be better than Force, I think. The real question is, do I want my Thoughtseizes? Like, if this deck tries to grind with me at all, they're going to get destroyed. I probably do. Just have so much ways to gain life. I think actually Cling to Dust kind of stinks. I'm going to bring in a Thoughtseize over that. Maybe I just do one Veil. I could get behind one Veil and fourth Seize. It's going to be too much damage. I think this is a fine split. The reason I'm leaving Thoughtseize in is this is a Shadow deck. It's not... Like, they probably have Swift Spear and some other aggressive stuff, but it's not just all burn spells. And if that's the case... Like, the fact that they're playing Lurrus means they're at least interested in grinding a little bit. And if it's not just all burn spells, then... this sounds great. I want to be able to take some of their grindy elements with Thoughtseize. If I get Thoughtseize here, that's not great. Okay, I didn't. I'm just going to play a Misty. I think there's a chance I get Veil of Summered. Or they go for like a Thoughtseize or something here. And if they don't do anything, I can get a Zagoth Triumph, and that's fine. Kept a one-lander? What? Okay, well, this game's over before it starts. Interesting. We have something to play to now that they are never going to beat. You'll love to see it. Given that they are missing their land drops and have 7 cards in hand, I'm probably going to get a chance to Thoughtseize next turn. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to hold up Veil for the entire game. They bolted themselves, so they just have to have like 10 shadows in hand. That's the only thing that makes any sense there. They probably have like 4 or 5 shadows. Like, they might even be playing that Scourge of the Skyclaves guy. I mean, they probably are playing it, but they might also have it. Like, they could have 4 or 5 shadows. Alright. Ooh, Uro's pretty good. Let's Thoughtseize them. They have another shadow and a Scourge. A lot going on here. Scourge is going to go pretty quick, but Uro kind of gets out of it. They also can't hurt themselves anymore. I think Shadow's less scary than Scourge here. I think that's the case. And then Scourge is actually like pretty big, so kind of want to stay away from that. Oh, Thoughtseize is really good there. And I even took down Veil this turn like I didn't have to. That's really frustrating. That is very, very frustrating. Well, they took the Gargaroth. What? Interesting. I would not have taken Gargaroth. Let's put a Thoughtseize on, or Bloodchief's Thirst on top of my library. Cast an Uro. Draw Bloodchief's Thirst. Put this in play. Bloodchief's Thirst to Shadow. Still get to hold a Veil. Get to draw Bloodchief's Thirst for turn if I don't need to Veil, which their hand is just... Yeah, their hand is 2 pushes and a Lurrus right now. I could also Thoughtseize Lurrus, which I think is totally reasonable, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to Bloodchief's Thirst the Shadow. And now opponent has to play into me, Cryptic commanding their Lurrus, and the game's going to end. GG's. Yep, that is that. Turn 1 Vial, huh? Alright, back for round 5. Looks like turn 1 Vial, so I imagine I'm playing against like humans or Death and Taxes or Goblins, but certainly could just be someone memeing and is going to play like a Tap Breeding Pool and cast some more Rose or something, I don't know. If you're going to name yourself turn 1 Vial, though, you gotta love Aether Vial, right? You have to. Just have to love it. The Creeping Tar Pit, not looking great here, not going to lie. Lurrus of the Dream Den. So could still have Vials. I'm going to keep. I would guess this is the Red-Black Prowess deck, though. I'm just going to play my Tar Pit. Can't cast anything. I was actually talking to someone in between rounds that this Tar Pit should be like a River of Tears or Darkslick Shores, something that lets me cast Thoughtseize on turn 1, and of course immediately punished for that. Alright, opponent looks like they're doing something to me. I don't know. How interested am I in mana leaking their play this turn? I think it's fine. Getting Mystic Sanctuary in play would be nice, but I think I'd rather leak their play this turn if possible. And then set up to go like Trophy plus Thoughtseize next turn maybe. We'll see what happens. Seal of Fire? I don't care about that. Alright. Let's start with the Thoughtseize now. Let's see what they got. An Unearth, another Beaumont, a Shadow, a Scourge, a Push. Kind of a lot happening here. If I take any of the creatures, they get to bring them back with Unearth. But I also don't really care. If I'm being honest. They can't play the Shadow. I guess I should take the Scourge. I can counter. I'm just going to take the Unearth, actually. That seems fine. I think taking the Unearth is fine. The Unearth could cause the most problems if they if we get to a part in the game where they're using Lurrus and Unearthing. I don't really want to deal with that. Little interesting. So I do kind of want to counter this actually, because they can't play Shadow. They have to have drawn land. Yeah, I'm gonna actually counter this. I think this is fine. Island. If they do get to play the Scourge here, I can just trophy it. That's fine. Oh, they drew another Beaumont. Fair enough. Fair enough. So many Beaumats. We need an Uro. Push is good. Push is good. Do I shock? I don't think I do. I think the play here is just play this and push that one before they get to draw a bunch of cards with it. Push is great because you really want to draw one of your 1-mana removal spells against decks like this so you can start Mystic Sanctuarying them back. This Creeping Tar Pit not being an island is costing me here because I would like to draw one. But honestly, I need to draw a card advantage spell anyway here at some point. And I do have another removal spell ready to go. Scourge. That thing is hecka large. Uro. Oh, you beautiful, beautiful creature, you. So need to decide if Uro into untapped land is where I want to be. If I don't hit an untapped land, I put the Mystic Sanctuary in. I'm going to 15. Their hand is... This is gone and that's gone. So they have Fatal Push, Death Shadow, and an unknown card. If I hit the Scourge... If I knew I was going to draw an untapped land, or if Mystic Sanctuary came in untapped, this turn would be so easy. It'd just be Uro plus Trophy. Given that it's not, it's kind of sketchy. They can kind of do a lot of damage to themselves, but I guess I kind of cap it at 15 anyway because I'm gaining the 3. And then I'm set up to bring it back next turn. Yeah, I think overall it's worth risking with the high roll here. The question is, do I leave blue or green? I think I'm going to leave up green. This could get awkward. I think I'm supposed to leave up green. Really, really hoping to draw a fetch land here. Okay, not a fetch land. That's a tilt. Also punished because I could use Clean to Dust, but here we are. Can still bring Uro back next turn. They just like have stranded the shadow in their hand. I don't really understand it, if I'm being honest. I would have shocked myself more, but they chose not to do that at any point. Ooh, Archmage's Charm is pretty good. Alright. Let's Clean to Dust. I'm going to hit the Bobble. So they can't use that with Luris. They do have Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to wait. No, wait, I'm supposed to do this. I think I'm definitely supposed to do this. They're going to get to use the push, but like that's not really that big a deal. I'm also protected from Battle Rage, so not the end of the world. Alright, I think I committed. They're going to get to push it, but that's fine. I want to just keep drawing cards. Gaining life. Alright. So I think things have mostly worked out for me here. What? I don't... Why? Oh, because they have Dismember. Okay. That makes this guy pretty big. Jeez. But then they never use the push. I don't get it. Well, I'm going to Force of Negation Teamer Battle Rage. I'll tell you what. I think this deck does play Battle Rage, too. That one's getting forced. And if they do tap out, I will steal the Beaumont, I think. The next turn is probably like trophy this, steal Beaumont. Okay, that's fine. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to seal. Nope. I was thinking I'd seal and then do that, but that's fine. Ooh, Cryptic's a good draw. Alright, so I'm going to pass back. If they use their mana on anything, like they bolt me or something, I would probably steal this. I'm sitting at like a virtual 5, although Uro's going to fix that. Bolt me. Okay. So what if I kind of want to counter bounce and then trophy that. Doesn't sound that bad. So what if I just do the steal here? I know their hand is just shadow and push. I think that's the best place to go. Just go to 2. Yeah, I like it. I'll take that. I'm not going to 2, I'm going to 4, but they're shooting their own Beaumont? Why? Oh, well now I'm at 4. Now I just don't even care. Alright, that's fine. And I'll trophy that. But I don't understand any of the plays opponent made there. It's wild. I guess they were going to have to kill it anyway. I couldn't, like, draw the cards, though. I don't know. I don't know what just happened. And drew another Scourge. That would be kind of scary. If I didn't have a cryptic command. I guess they can push it, but that seems also terrible for them. Oh, well, I can push it. Perfect. Easy mode. And they're still sitting on Shadow and Push. I assume they're going to bring back Luris this turn. Unless they drew something really good. Bobble, I mean, that's good with Luris. I still assume they're going to bring back Luris. So I'm probably going to Archmage draw 2. Have Cryptic for Luris, yeah. Makes sense. There's actually a chance I was supposed to force a negation the Bobble, but I don't know. I don't think that matters that much. Right, so push is good. Still think I'm supposed to just Uro here. Just keep the Uros flowing, stay out of bolt range. They have burn spells. Not really enough to kill me, but they have some amount of burn spells. Oh, Field of the Dead is quite nice. And that's a 2/2. So opponent's drawing up to 5 cards here, but they still only have 3 mana. I assume they're gonna play Luris. I guess now they can Luris plus Shadow, but Shadow's not scary this turn. I get to bring back Uro next turn. Yeah, this feels like it's going to go pretty well for me. Leaving up white? Why? You have a Shadow in your hand. It doesn't make any sense. Thank you. Alright, assume they're playing Luris. I will counter it. If they have like an Unearth, I mean, that might be good for them, but I don't know that it matters enough. Ooh, Misty's great. To get back a Fatal Push, 2 Zombos. Bring Uro back. Yeah, that's excellent. I could also fetch a Black Source, but I don't really need it. Oh, second Fatal Push. Now I kind of want to bring back Cryptic Command. Yeah, let's bring back Cryptic Command. That sounds great. Mystic Sanctuary. Oh. Opponent's conceding. Come back, turn 1 Vial. Where you going, bud? So that's good. I could see Surgical. I don't know how much I really care. Veil, I think, is good. I like Gargledon. Damnation seems okay. And I do think Thoughtseize is, like, close, but, like... I think I went to 3 before. And Jace against the Bolt deck seems kind of bad. It's, like, okay. I'm going to cut Jace, though. I don't think I need that card advantage. And Cling to Dust, I still think is bad. Maybe it's better than one of the Thoughtseizes. I don't know. I think that's close. I think I'd rather still have Thoughtseize than Cling. Yeah, I like that. I think that's fine. Um, this hand's decent. It's a little slow on the draw, but I think it's fine. I cannot for the life of me understand why Beaumont Courier is in this deck as opposed to Swift Spear or Soulscar Mage. Those both seem so much better to me, but here we are. How much does a turn with Thoughtseize matter? I think it matters less than just playing this. Because I actually have like a decent setup here. Okay, well they get to Thoughtseize me. I mean, my hand is somewhat redundant here. This is not that bad for me. I can either Mana Leak their play next turn if they don't take it, or Thoughtseize their play. These are similar enough cards. They kind of function in the same way. And if they want to take a Cryptic to stop my like a card advantage, I mean, I just have another one. I can Mystic Sanctuary in the back. It just doesn't matter. This hand is like this deck is redundant enough that I think Thoughtseize is bad against it, honestly. And this hand is redundant enough. And this hand is an example. It's like, yeah, you get to take my Thoughtseize, but like you're the red-black aggro deck. Like Thoughtseizing my Thoughtseize is not that good. This was gonna deal me damage. Like it was gonna be pretty good for you. All right, I will put that in play now. I need to want to get up to enough islands to use the Sanctuary. Again, not rushing on Field of the Dead. I might put it in play next turn. I don't know. I might. Casting something that costs 2 mana? Cleansing Wildfire. Why is this in? Sure. I guess this like stops me from mana leaking this turn. I don't get it. I'm gonna put the island in. It does kind of color screw me to do it there. I don't think it really makes that much sense, but here we are. I just don't understand opponent's plan in this matchup. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Well, now that I've seen Cleansing Wildfire, definitely not exposing that. I'm just going to put the Delta in play. Get a Watery Grave on a turn. Have my mana all back. Able to use Mystic Sanctuary. I am now to Cryptic Command territory where I can start commanding their stuff. Sure, I mean, none of this matters. I don't understand trying to grind with the Uro deck. Like, I just have better card advantage tools than you. I have Draw 2s and Factor Fictions and Jaces and like... I do think I made a huge mistake boarding out my Jaces now that I've seen what opponent's trying to do. But I also just don't even think that's going to matter. And this is when they're on the play, too. Like, I don't know. A little mind blown this is where we've gone, but here we are. Put Lurrus in your hand, sure. Get a Watery Grave. Island or Field of Ruin? I guess Field of Ruin's better. Some chance I want to start hitting their lands. Probably not, but like maybe. Probably still better to just save this once the field's in play so I can get 2 zombies that same turn. Realistically, sure. Thoughtseize me all you want. The funny thing is they're going to have to pop the Soul God Lantern in response to my land drop next turn. Okay. If you say so. They do know about Field of the Dead, and they fired this off already. Little bit loose, but here we are. But here we're watching, like, I don't want to disparage opponent, like, say they're bad, something like that. I don't think that's fair. My issue with what the opponent's doing here is... Alright, I'm just going to mana leak this. They can't resolve Lurrus. If they have, like, an Unearth, then whatever. It's fine. I can deal with this eventually. Does feel like they maybe have an Unearth or, like, a Shadow, maybe? No, they have an Unearth. Alright, whatever. You got a 2-2. That's fine. Oh, I'm sorry, opponent. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's so brutal. Oh, that stinks a lot for the opponent. Oh my. That is a yikes. Alright, I'm gonna mana leak. So opponent's popping. Fair enough. Now I just actually kind of feel bad. This is ridiculous. Oh, that's a yikes. I'm sorry, opponent. I am sorry about that. Oh, that hurts. I'm so sorry. So they will get to put Luris in play here, but we've reached the point of the game where it just, like, Field of Ruins online. I think opponent maybe missed that. I still have a Cryptic Command in hand, and all of my lands make zombies for the rest of the game. Like, yeah, you get to bring back a Bobble, and maybe this is going to go good for you for a few turns, but you don't have enough to grind through this. This card just generates too much card advantage. Which is why I just don't support this plan to begin with. Like, you need to kill me. Okay, they have the Cleansing Wildfire. Now I kind of support their plan. Only kind of, but I do. I think if they're going this route, now this makes some amount of sense. So I need to get a land I don't have. Probably second green, so I can bring back Uro. It doesn't really matter. I'll get the Snow-Covered Forest. Alright, so maybe I got a little preemptive with that, but not. I mean, opponent's down to one card. I guess maybe two. I should draw kill spells somewhere at some point in this match. Okay, Fatal Push is excellent. Put that in play. Field their White Source. I don't really know what the White Source is for. I assume it's just to make casting Luris easier, but on a Godless Shrine it doesn't really make very much sense. I don't know. How many basics is this deck playing? I can't have that many. And so, yeah, the Luris drew a card, but I don't know. They're still trying to battle through Cryptic Command. I've got Uro coming back. I honestly think they were supposed to bring back Soul Guy Lantern last turn. It seems a little loose that they didn't do that. They do seem like they want white for some reason. Cling. Okay, so they could cling again. If that's their turn, though, I'm fine with that. Oh, we drew a Foff. That is excellent. Like, they're kind of forced into using Cling again, just because Uro is going to destroy them. They're not beating it. So they're going to have to use Cling again. And now I just get to Foff and start burying them with card advantage. Like, they're just fighting this losing battle because my cards are inherently better at card advantage than theirs. It's just, it goes back to, like, it does seem like opponent has a plan. Like, their plan is to outgrind me, but it's just, you picked a plan that didn't work to begin with. Like, it was just a failed idea in my mind. So I'm not going to be able... I think I'm just supposed to Foff here. I still don't know what the white is for. Alright, whatever. I'm just going to main phase the Foff. Oh my. This is why I main phased it, because I can bring back Uro. If I hit... This is a tough Foff pile. I don't know what you're supposed to do from the opponent's perspective. Basically, yeah. I mean, Uro just comes into play if I take this pile. It's probably okay with me. And I have a Gargoyle still too? Yeah. Oh, no, wait, I can't put Uro in play. Oh, no, I have this forest. Yeah, alright. Let's just pile 2. And despite opponent doing their best to hit me with... I actually think Foff is going to be less necessary here. To hit me with the Cling to Dust and the Soul Guide Lantern, those things just don't work against Uro. Sorry. They're casting something big, though, it looks like. Gonna need to be pretty darn big if you're gonna kill me from 24. Oh, they're just... Oh, okay. 4 mana draw a card is a lot worse than Fact or Fiction, though. I'll say that much. They do have 2 shadows. That's not terrible. That was a really good draw. Right, let's kill one of the shadows. Attack with Uro. Oh, it just kills the other shadow? That's decent. Would be a real shame someone gained control of that. Real shame. All right, they've conceded. Oh, that's an easy 5-0. So, thoughts on the deck? It feels great. The Tar Pit wasn't good. I think that should be either a River of Tears or a Drowned Catacombs or Darkslick Shores. Few things there it could be. All would be fine in my opinion. Yeah, I wanted to add a Flooded Groves. I think after playing with Cling to Dust, I think the card's been pretty bad. I think I just kind of want to do that. Add a Flooded Grove seems fine to me. I like the sideboard quite a bit. I could see like another Field of Ruin in the sideboard with the Loams if I'm going to do the Loam plan. I don't think the Surgicals were very good either. Those should probably be like Ashiok's or something to prevent decks that search their library. Again, I don't know. Just stuff to work on. It does feel like I could make the mana base a little bit better. I wouldn't be shocked if, like, instead of the Breeding Pool and the Watery Grave, I should have like another Overgrown Tomb, or like an Overgrown Tomb and some other land, like a Drowned Catacomb, Hinterland Harbor. I think it felt like I could diversify the mana a little better for Field of the Dead, but overall I didn't think it was a big deal. I could see another Bloodchief's Thirst in the sideboard, Bloodchief's Thirst Impressed, but Abrupt Decay is kind of that slot. I could also see another Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay was also pretty good. I wouldn't hate that. But overall, I thought this deck was pretty good. It felt strong. I mean, the plan of Uro interaction is good, I think. I think that's a good way to go. Thoughtseize really overperformed. I don't see Thoughtseize in a lot of these lists, and honestly, it felt really, really good. I was really happy with it most of the times I drew it. There's a few spots where you drew it late, but overall, I don't think that really mattered because it's such a good way to disrupt the opponent for 1 mana and just get your graveyard full so you can start bringing Uro back. I don't know. I think Thoughtseize is good. I think it's in the realm. I think more decks should be playing it. More of these Uro decks should be playing it than they are. So that's kind of my take on it, but yeah, overall, really like the deck. Thanks, everybody, for watching this. Remember, if you like the content we're making here, please subscribe to the channel. Please leave comments. Please like the videos. All of that really helps. It really helps me grow the channel. It really helps. It really helps me keep making this content, which is a hard place to go, but would really appreciate if people would do those things. So, with that, I'll talk to everyone later.
I'm joined by Kyle Balgamase. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzhov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian DeMars.
Zach Allen.
I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Ari Lax.